G'day and welcome to a surprise SOTA. Sorry, spacesuit's very hot and heavy. Let me just slip into something more comfortable. I'll be right back. G'day, welcome to a surprise SOTA. Firstly, some news. The first is that the Brave Collective is expanding its borders. The mining colonies of HTFU are one of its targets. One-time Legacy Coalition members Who Dares Wins, SAS, have dropped their SOV. We're in the process of picking it up. The skinny on why they left the coalition is that they've decided to do low-sec, null-sec PvP while their alliance executor is recovering from some real-life health issues. They apparently have plans to actively not shoot Legacy members, which would be awesome. Please make sure you're around for the strat ops that are ongoing as we speak, both offensive and defensive, if that space becomes contested. We also need to make sure that we're using the space, or as much of the space as we can possibly do. Get your fingers stuck in the pies down there. So the situation that we find ourselves in, as we've just seen, is a delicate and volatile one. And I'm just going to check to see that this thing is still recording, because this is now the third take where the camera's stopped. Looks like we're still good. There are some precarious political landscapes that are going on. They could either be stable forever, or they could blow up in our faces. And we saw exactly that with SAS. So what does that mean for you, the line member? Basically, that means you need to read your announcements, get on Slack, be on comms, be prepared for the Spanish Inquisition. No, you panicky and anxious conspiracy theorists, that doesn't mean evac now. It doesn't mean sell all your ships in a fire sale. It means don't be complacent. Don't stockpile useless shit. Don't fit up 40 different ships that you'll maybe fly one day. Have your hangar list ready to go, a couple of ratting ships, that favourite doctrine that favourite ship that you've always wanted to fly. Don't go crazy. But you can tell we're not evacing because Dunk hasn't put an Orca in build. Make no mistake, you should be on a war footing at all times in nullsec. If you want to sit on a mountain of unused ships, go be a high-sec war decker and you'll never get evicted from anything anywhere. Are you panicking? No, bloody stop. Just make sure you're ready for any fight that comes along. So, as you know, there are new doctrines in the offing. I need this. So get your training on. Hopefully we'll get the doctrine list out soon, or the doctrine fits out soon, so you'll know exactly what's what. I should remind you that T3Cs are bloody expensive compared to other doctrines, and our SRP funds will be placed under critical stress when and if we start losing them. So that means get rich. It also means that you need to be available for strat ops. Particularly there's SRP sticks, there's moons that we're taking. We need to have a good showing for those. Market taxes will not keep up with SRP losses for a fleet of T3Cs. It just won't. Moon incomes are vital. Thirdly, secondly, fourthly, I don't know. The high SP, high skill, elite kind of corp will go live immediately. With the departure of half the guys I wanted to lead and form the core membership, I'm drastically changing my plans on how that was going to open up. So the corp will join the alliance tomorrow. Applications will open up. I invite you to check the forums for a link to the criteria for membership. Initially, API checking will be done with the aid of a Google document. It will require you to submit your APIs for all your characters. If you're caught holding anything back, you won't get in, so don't bother to apply. We're going to try and make it as secure from spies as possible, so please don't fight me on this. It's incredible, I know. Still recording, this is a miracle. It's also important to note that that corp will only be recruiting from BNI. It will follow the no poaching rule from other corporations. Incredible, again, incredible, I know. The new corp will attempt to amaze and stupefy its opponents, naysayers and critics. I want people to say, those guys are incredible. Brave is incredible. I want its members to lead the Alliance, pushing the boundaries and being an incredible asset to the Alliance, and to show the rest of us the possibilities that are out there. I've chosen the incredible Yukiko Kami to be the Chief Operating Officer of that corporation, fresh from his incredible performance as a member of our stupendous AT team. The name of the corp will be incredible, I assure you. You'll love it. Wait and see when it applies to the Alliance. You'll be amazed. Everybody says so. Kafefi. So I'll hand over now to Algernon Buttercup, our Alliance economic expert, for an update.
Oh, hello. Algernon Buttercup here. Thank you, Mr. Cagali. As you know, this weekend will be a tax-free weekend for Alliance services. That's market taxes. Brave newbies will also be participating with ratting taxes. Bold and Zancha with their various services. So it should be a very profitable weekend for most people. Now, until now, there's been a split in the Alliance market with people listing things in the Bellicose Fortizar and in the GE TAC 8 station. At the minute, it's about 70% in the Fortizar market and about 35% in the station. Now, Mr. Cagali has assured me that he doesn't care where you list your things, but that there will be a second Fortizar market opening in the Fapstar Stazaric Fortizar in HP TAC. This weekend would be for the astute market seeding personnel to perhaps move the station orders to that second Fortizar market, because of course no taxes mean pure profit for the astute market seeder. Now, bearing in mind this graph, which I prepared earlier, shows very clearly that the market module needs about 15 billion a month turnover in order to pay for the fuel it uses. So we do hope you use that market. If it turns out to be a massive drain on the Alliance, then we will remove it again. As you know, I have told Mr. Cagali over and over that, particularly with the number of citadels that Brave now operates, taxes for reprocessing and all those services should increase to cover the cost of the fuel at the very least. The ledgers are very difficult to balance. But as you know, Mr. Cagali is very stubborn, away from the keyboard, very unreasonable, and he has refused to acknowledge this request. Frankly, he is a...
Yeah, that's great. Thanks, Algernon. Lastly, with the... Well, it's in fact not lastly, it's penultimately. With the sad departure of Perotto's Social Club, we're losing some of our most talented, popular players. I mourn for their departure, but I wish them well in all their future endeavours, and I hope they'll find their fun wherever it comes. Most of them have performed their roles in the Alliance with aplomb and style. and have livened our game to a great extent. Cheers and 7-0 Colorado Social Club. All the best. And on a final note, I have, after great deliberation of the panicky, worried, preoccupied variety, decided on a 2IC for the Alliance. He's acted extremely well for us, worked his ass off as a serious member of the IT team, the dojo, the Alliance tournament team, CSM member and all-round legend. I am of course speaking of Yukiko Kami. Congratulations, Yukiko. Now I can be universally hated and people can bug you incessantly to try and make me see sense. Fly reckless, brave. We're doing well. Get on a war footing. Have a good time. I will see you later.
Oh, hello. Thank you, Mr. Cagali.
Fuck!